Rumors of a former finance minister and governor of the Bank of Ghana, Dr. Kwabena Duffuor, contesting the flag-bearership position of the NDC have not gone unnoticed, with several public engagement, perhaps to increase the support base of the NDC or to kickstart his political career. In this report, we'll take a look at and we'll throw the spotlight on Dr. Kwabena Duffuor.
Election 2024 may be 3 years away, but former Finance Minister Dr. Kwabena Duffuor seems to have initiated a campaign canvassing for more supporters for the opposition, the National Democratic Congress, or to put himself in the limelight to contest. In a 1-minute 21 seconds video making the round on some TV stations and online platforms, the question is posed: what does the NDC mean to you? It is unclear whether Dr. Duffuor, a former governor of the Bank of Ghana, is nursing presidential ambitions, or he is simply wooing more Ghanaians to join the NDC to enable the party recapture power in the 2024 election. Another line of speculation is that he is eyeing the vice presidential ticket of the NDC in 2024 and to manage the economic management team should John Mahama win the presidency that year. But it is unclear if ex-President Mahama will part ways with his 2020 vice presidential hopeful, Professor Nana Jane Opoku-Agyeman, instead of Dr. Duffuor. With their inclusion in his political tour since his defeat in 2020, indicating that Dr. Duffuor has a veritable competition if that is his plan. The video being promoted by the former finance minister ends with Dr. Duffuor walking from the Independence Arch, assuring that, quote, "What the NDC means to me is that everyone in this country will have an opportunity to achieve the Ghanaian dream," unquote. However, some members of the NDC attached to the camp of former President John Dramani Mahama, unhappy with the advert, say he is using the video as a launch pad for his flag-bearer ambitions. Dr. Kwabena Duffuor served as Minister of Finance and Economic Planning under the NDC government of the late Professor John Evans Mills and former President John Dramani Mahama. He is the founder of the Institute of Fiscal Studies and Economic Policy think tank.
Of Ghana, Dr. Kwabena Duffuor contesting the flag-bearership position of the NDC have not gone unnoticed. And speak with Dr. Jonathan Asante-Ochiri of the College of Education at the University of Cape Coast and a political analyst. He joins us on Zoom for a conversation on the back of this. Doc, we're grateful for your time with us on Midday Live. So let's talk about the approach that some political parties and, elements within the parties are adopting ahead of 2024, though we're some 3 years away from elections. Does the approach or the tactic of Dr. Kwabena Duffuor communicate anything?
Hello?
Can you hear me, sir?
Pardon me?
Can you hear me, please?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Right. What I was asking is whether the method that Dr. Kwabena Duffuor seems to be using, as suggested by a section of the public, communicates anything.
Well, let me say good afternoon to our cherished viewers. If you are asking of the tactics, I think that Dr. Duffuor comes as a tactical human resource for the NDC as a party. Don't forget that it was during his time as a finance minister that the NDC in government under Professor Mills, obviously had the highest growth then in the world, 14% thereabout. He was able to chalk a single-digit inflation for quite, a long time. And so if he decides to organize a lecture of a sort, I think ideally the time is due, especially as a nation that we find ourselves in this kind of economic quagmire. Or we can see that we are facing some difficulty. So as a nation, we equally need some kind of refreshing voice, as it were, to come up with other new ideas, as it were, to ensure that we forge ahead as a nation. And then obviously the party in government will equally take some of these ideas that is going to churn out, on board to see how best they can solve the problems that we find ourselves. Don't also forget that I think in Mr. Mahama's era, when they were facing difficulties, they organized, that conference at Senche, as it were, and then they had this homegrown policy which ensured that they were able to solve the difficulties and the challenges of the then economy until the time that they lost the elections. And you could see that in 2017, the growth that had been predicted because of the investment that they had made, it actualized in 2017 during, the first year of Mr. Akufo-Addo. So the tactics, as it were, if you ask me, I think the tactics is in order.
Right.
I cannot speak about presidential ambition or not, but if it is an economic lecture that is to give different views as to how best we can govern the country or in terms of the economy or economic policies, I think the tactics is in order.
Right. Although he has not, responded to either confirm or deny the suggestions that he wants to become president of the country, what do you say to those who believe that he's using the economic forum he wants to speak at and other public engagements to relaunch or launch his political career?
I think I can barely hear the question. Right. If you can repeat.
What I'm asking is, what do you say to those who think that although he has not come out publicly to accept or deny the claims that he wants to contest the Flagbearership position of the NDC, what do you say to those who think that his actions are suggesting that he wants to relaunch or launch his political career?
Well, it is quite dicey. Nothing stops him from relaunching his political career, after having had such an economic setback in terms of the collapse of his bank. He's a fine gentleman, no two ways about that. Being a governor for some years, becoming finance minister, nothing untoward was found about him. So if he is nursing that ambition, I think that it is a little too early for him, but nothing stops him from doing that because the NDC is yet to even organize a branch to the constituency, to the region, to national and so on and so forth. So if he's positioning himself for that particular, future ambition, I don't think that anything should stop him from that. But it is good he has not staged any claim to that effect. Because when you do that, then obviously the kind of audience that you are going to court in terms of the speech that you are going to deliver or the lecture that you are going to deliver, will be limited because then it will mean that there are others who don't side with you. There may be others who will side with you. So I will see that strategically what he's doing is good because it will rather inure to the benefit of the NDC as a party in the sense that he's going to churn out different ideas or refreshing ideas as to how best the economy should go. And so if he has not staged a claim, I think it is in order and that, he doesn't want to fall foul of the rules and regulations of the party. Other than that, I don't think there is anything wrong if he wants to state that particular claim.